Hello and welcome to Capacity TV. My name is Saf Malik, Deputy Editor at Capacity. I'm joined today by Anders Grand, Vice President and Regional General Manager for Europe and Major Accounts at Ciena, and Espen Vestli, CEO at Altibox Carrier. Thank you so much for joining us today, guys.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
Anders, first one for you. There was the 1.6 terabyte record achieved with Ciena by Altibox. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Yeah, it was really a world's first on the Norway-UK link that they have. The first 1.6 tera on a live network, never been seen before, and of course that adds, unprecedented capacity to their network. So we were really pleased with that. Also because it was done in service. Normally, when you do these type of stress tests, you do it on a new cable or something that doesn't carry traffic. But in this case, it was, carrying quite a bit of traffic at the same time. So a huge achievement and something we're really proud of being able to do together with Altibox Carrier.
And how does that benefit the customers?
Yeah, well, first and foremost, it gives more capacity, right? And more capacity normally drives down the price, also reduces the power per bit. So the whole idea is looking at Norway, and I know we're going to come back to that in a second. It basically gives them the ability to diverse between different routes and get capacity at a better cost point.
What would you say were the key points in making it happen?
Representing Ciena, it's of course the technology, our WaveLogic 6, which is the brand new DSP we came out with last year that does 1.6. So that's a key thing. And then the cooperation we have with Altibox on this cable has been unique from day one. A new build, there's not that many new builds in that region that we see. So the ability to do that and really prove that we could smash the world record with this type of technology, that was really interesting.
When do you think 800 GB and 1.6 terabytes is going to be mainstream?
Well, I think 100 gig is still the main product in the market. But in the next couple of years, towards 2030, we'll see a huge increase in demand, making 400, 800 gig the commodity product. So 2030 to 2035, 1.6 tera being the commodity, somewhere within that time span.
And what's driving development in the space?
Well, it's huge increase in demand, and the capacity in the existing infrastructure being hard to build out, particularly in certain regions in Northern Europe. Then you have the technological advancements from technology providers like Ciena, giving us as infrastructure owners the ability to get more out of our existing infrastructure, giving more resilience, particularly when you see the enormous growth in AI compute demands.
And I want to talk a little bit about the demand for capacity into Norway. There's such a drive for AI and data center growth. This demand is going to go through the roof as we project. Can we estimate the demand for the next 5 to 10 years?
It's difficult to estimate. We know it will grow exponentially. We see a lot more hyperscalers and Stargate and the neoscalers coming to the northern Scandinavian peninsula, driven by the access to power and land. I would also like to give a bit of credit to the Norwegian government, having stated that Norway should be the most digitized nation by 2030. So all these factors brings hyperscalers first, and then you see a huge demand from the neoscalers moving into northern Scandinavia, and that is good when it comes to access to power, cheap land, but the connectivity and the geography that you need to build in is a bit more challenging.
And how important is the need for green energy for kind of the northern geographical challenges faced by the operators and carriers in the region?
I would like to give a lot of credit to the hyperscalers putting ESG as a top priority, and that drives, customer demand. And so having access to green power across Scandinavia and in Norway in particular is probably not only the greenness of the energy, but the availability and also the structured way of getting access to that power means that all the factors are in place to build in Scandinavia and Norway.
Again, if you look at the rest of Europe, there are countries like the Netherlands where they're not building any new data centers because there's simply no more power, right? And again, there's no green power that would actually make that transition possible. Whereas in the Nordics, there's a surplus, in particular in Norway, to some extent in Sweden as well. Not as much in Denmark where I'm from, but it's happening as well. So it's a key thing, and that is why the neoscalers and the GCNs are building in that region, besides the geopolitical stability and some of the other factors. But for sure, green energy is a key factor in their decision when they decide where to deploy a new data center.
So question for both of you off the back of that. Is it fair to say that hyperscalers are still taking ESG seriously then?
Yes, no doubt, no doubt. Again, it's an interesting question because a lot of people don't realize that there was a data center behind a cloud. Right, so it's also a way for them to ride the green wave and not, exploit, coal and different things like that, because that wouldn't add up to the kind of reputation that they would like to have. So yeah, it's quite important.
And a three-part question for the next one. What is the available capacity into Norway and the Nordic region in general today? For one, in general, like I mentioned, two, for Nordic operators, and three, for Altibox.
Well, the capacity into Norway, I guess, is around 3.5 petabytes. That will come under pressure towards 2030. So there are a lot of new builds being at a desktop study level. There will be an increase in build activity, both by Altibox Carrier and other providers. We have existing infrastructure, the world record holding NO-UK line between Stavanger and Newcastle. You got 4/5 routes into Scandinavia. You will see some new builds. I believe Altibox Carrier will be driving some of that build. And on top of that, we need technological advancements like we have tested now together with Ciena to cater for the huge increase. Then you will have traffic going from the southern parts of Scandinavia towards the north, which is a bit more challenging geographically. It's a cold, harsh climate, which is good for the cooling side of things, but it's a bit more challenging for infrastructure providers to build at the speed as to cater for the demand that we anticipate towards 2030 and beyond.
Yeah. And to add to that, I think the advantage that Altibox Carrier have in the region is it's a new build. So the platform is state of the art, which means they can use the newest technology, the 1.6, the 3.2, whenever that would become available as well. And that really drives that capacity up. So besides the new builds, we're also seeing a generational shift in the platforms deployed in the region. Some of them only do 100 gig per wave today, right? But in the next 2 to 3 years, they will be migrated to a new platform that will then allow them to do the 800 gig, the 1.6 plus, and that will quadruple the capacity into the region. So technology is key there as well. As you were saying about new routes, people who've been to Norway know it's not easy to dig. You need to blast your way into the underground. So new builds, new fiber routes, north to south, east to west, are not easy to come by. It's costly and it's difficult. So you need to really squeeze technology on existing infrastructure first, and then in parallel you build out with new routes.
And Espen, Altibox Carrier has a new co-owner. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Yeah, we're very pleased to have High-Tech Vision on board as a 50% owner. It was part of our strategic plan in 2019-2020 to get a industrial powerhouse in Norway to contribute to the expansion and growth that we're planning for. So we get access, both to much needed capital, so we can build more, we can invest more in technology. We might be acquiring some assets to increase our speed to market. So getting access to not only capital, but they have a lot of competencies when it comes to infrastructure builds, the ESG area. So we're very, very fortunate to get High-Tech Vision on board at a critical stage, both for the industry in the Nordics, but also for carriers. So very, very pleased.
You briefly touched upon it, but finally, how does Altibox Carrier plan to meet the increased demand for capacity?
3 ways, basically. Utilizing the existing infrastructure to the max, new technology giving us more capacity on existing routes, and then combined with that, new builds into Scandinavia, and potentially a bit of acquisition of certain assets to help us not only build but also get access to capacity through not building ourselves.
And when those acquisitions happen, you know where to find us.
We will be the first to tell you.
Awesome. Thank you so much, guys, for the time. Really appreciate it.
Thank you.
And thank you for watching Capacity TV.